How y'all all? Welcome to the Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. It is a Monday, best day of the work week. And appreciate everybody joining us as we rock and roll. Another week, another session. We seem like we live in a session or a special session year-round. Lack of leadership from the governor's office will do that to you. And see, two governors don't work. A Republican and Democrat, it doesn't work, folks. It's just the way it is. It's not working well at all as they continue to watch our economy slide into the toilet. When it doesn't have to be that way, but as we grow Medicaid, that's part of the problem of why it's sliding in the toilet. And the governor's tweeting out, Medicaid expansion creating jobs. How y'all are? Yes, I am pumped up today, as you can tell. By the way, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser will join us at 10:30. We got a message to talk about the budget and stuff, so we'll visit with him. I made some comments about him Friday, so we want to make sure we visit with him later in the program. So anyway, 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. Your opportunity to be a voice. Yeah, the governor's tweeting out this weekend how Medicaid expansion is growing our economy. And folks, if you're tweeting out, you go get more money from government, and expanding government is the way the economy rolls. Folks, you're losing the battle. That's what he's tweeting out, though. He's telling people that Medicaid expansion is creating our economy. We lost jobs last year. Since we've accepted Medicaid expansion, let me give you a quote, the rest of the story. We got 2 years of negative GDP growth in the worst economy in the country. But we expanded Medicaid. Why don't more government money lead us to prosperity? Because it can't. But he has nothing else to grab. He can't go to the oil and gas industry. $80 a barrel. Brandon, somebody told me today it could be $100 this summer. And we're not participating in the economy because we're too busy suing the hell out of the companies. And Edwards is a big part of that. I'll just give you the information, facts. Believe what you want to. Why is our GDP going down? Why is our migration kicking up again? Why is our government growing twice that of our economy? Which, by the way, just in that is ignorant. It can't happen. And he's proven it to us. Our migration, loss of jobs last year, we were down 200 jobs. Texas was only up, Brandon, 285,000. Places like Mississippi were up 14,000 jobs. It doesn't work. And then we're going to sue all of that. And then we get a tax break from Donald Trump, an income tax break. All the people that are pulling the wagon. I'm not talking about you people sitting on the wagon while we pull. We get $302 million in tax break. Edwards takes it and never bats an eye. He takes it, never says thank you, never says go to hell. Don't tell us anything. He just takes our money and says, okay, we can put this in the budget so I can keep growing government. We're fixing nothing. Nothing. They're not fixing one thing. Tell me what Edwards has fixed. Nothing. I'm tired of watching the propaganda of the press, and the written press is what I'm really talking about. The guys that go down there and cover it, and they give him a free ride and pound on the House Republicans over and over again, and I'm watching real-life stuff happen in our state, and this guy has no clue. Matter of fact, it looks like he's trying to run everybody with an education that wants a really good job. He's asking them to leave because that's who's leaving. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And he's tweeting out Medicaid, getting money from the federal government, taxing us to prosperity to keep up with Medicaid. And there's about 40% of the people who probably don't need to be on it. I mean, the facts are there, folks. He's tweeting out that that's his economic boom for the state of Louisiana. And by the way, that's not true. That cannot happen. Now, there was a piece written from the Pelican Institute, and I'm going to try to get the guy on, Chris Jacobs, senior fellow deal. He got an article in the Hayride why the Medicaid expansion is a drain on Louisiana's economy. It's been a drain, and governor is because he can't tout anything else, he's sending out that this is an awesome thing. He sent out the easiest big decision I had made in governor was to expand Medicaid on my first full day in office. Since 2016, more than 470,000 working people have gained access to health coverage, and we're saving more than $300 million. I love this. Brandy, you remember the joke I used to make all the time about when your wife comes home and she wants to tell you about all the money she saved when she went shopping? Belle Edwards is one of those. Belle Edwards is just like the woman, the wife, my wife included. She laughs at me, too. My wife comes home. She told me that. I mean, what did I tell you? I texted you about 2 weeks ago. I said, my wife just told me she saved $635. And I told her, I said, baby, give me that savings and I will put it in the savings account. And she fell out laughing, Brandon. Same thing you did. Belle Edwards is just like that wife that comes in and says, hey, I saved you money. He doesn't tell you about the billions and billions of dollars we have to put out to get to Medicaid. He doesn't tell you about the 40% of the people that are on it ought to not be on it. He doesn't tell you about the 20% of people who had private insurance coverage that figured out they can get it free going to Medicaid, right, or a lot cheaper. He doesn't tell you about that. And this is what this report says about Chris Jacobs. Well, the Medicaid expansion is not what this man is saying it is. How come if we got all these savings, if he saved $300 million, Brandon, and he's saying he's going to save $400 million if we raise a half-cent sales tax, we ought to have money coming out the wazoo. We ought to trip over money when I walk out my business day. Whoop, look, that's $200. Let me pick it up. If he's saving all this money, where are the jobs at that's supposed to be being created? Because he's not. This is what ignorance in the media does with the Advocate and the Times-Picayune and the Gannett and Jim Beam. These people don't want to have a clue. They don't want you to know the truth. They don't care if you know the truth. Saving $300 million. Well, good then. That goes toward the budget, right? No, it doesn't. If I save $300 million, shouldn't I be able to put it somewhere else? And he doesn't do it. Save $300 million to tell people that expanding this, listen to this, expansion and generating $3.5 million in economic activity, creating, you ready, 19,000 jobs. This man is really telling people this. And only people that would believe this, you have to not know what he's talking about, are pure political ignorance. He's created 19,000 jobs. Then why is our GDP going down? Shouldn't this be leading the charge for our economy? Oil and gas ought to pop back with this kind of recovery. But it's not, because he can say this, and he can tweet it, and he knows the Advocate and Stephanie Grace and Jim Beam and what's the guy, the fool in Monroe? Greg Hilburn, don't have a clue. Greg don't even know what state he's in half the time. These people write this stuff. They write this as being factual. I'm telling you, the hayride today, I don't know Chris Jacobs. God, that name rings a bell. Great piece. Medicaid expansion is drain on the economy. And there's Belle Edwards. He can't brag about the oil and gas industry popping up. He can't brag about manufacturing. He can't brag about small business growth here. He can't brag about anything in economic development. So he goes grabs something the federal government sends money to us. And then we, the people, are told we don't have enough money to tax revenue. We need some more of your money. Why? Because the expansion needs tax dollars to get the money in. So they hurt the small business. They hurt individuals. If he say, listen, let me put it this way. How much was the tax cut I told you, Brandon, from Trump? $300 million. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, if Edwards says this Medicaid expansion has saved us more than $300 million, if he got a savings over here and Trump's giving us $300 million, why don't he cut our taxes $300 million? Makes sense to me, but I got common sense. Edwards says he saves $300 million on the government expansion, and we get $300 million from Trump tax cut, but that's not what he did. You know what he's doing? We need this money. We got to keep spending. We're not going to fix a dang thing. That's D-A-N-G, folks. A dang thing in state government, but we're going to get your money. This is the governor that honor code was all over him. There's no honor with this guy. It's not even close, and Jay Darden's right there with him. Jay Darden, by the way, got his rear end handed to him by John Alario. I'll get to that. Now, look, I'm not a John Alario guy. But John Alario, even he gets tired of the rhetoric, the bull, and the lies that are coming out of this governor and this administration. Belle Edwards is out there talking about the expanding of Medicaid. It's created 19,000 jobs. Really? Where are those jobs at, folks? Can anybody tell me where those 19,000 jobs are located? You can't. Because it didn't create 19,000 jobs. We lost more jobs with the private sector people leaving because they're looking for jobs. He tweets this out on Facebook or whatever the heck this is. Sent it out a video telling people he saved us $300 million. Then why does he need the $300 million that Donald Trump gave back to us? Why don't he just give us this savings? Because he can't. It's rhetoric and lies, and we got a willing press, and the printed press mostly, just go along, get along, say whatever he says. Y'all ought to be mad at it. And he wanted $500 million more in the special session than he claims he needs now. I mean, this guy's all over the place, and honesty and honor codes nowhere near this guy. We got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline. We'll be right back. One of my best teachers. Anyway, 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline. The Moon Griffon Show. Folks, your calls are welcome. If you think I'm way overboard on this, just go on and call in and let me know. I'm just explaining what's going on. You know, it's like David Calicut. By the way, I know David. I like David a lot. But, you know, the budget was funded. Should they be putting stuff at the hospital and all that against Bell Edwards now? He cut their he cut their funding 100%. They have zero funding now. All these notices, none of that was called for. None of it was called for, unless you're playing politics. So when John Alario and the lawmakers in the Senate lay out the little worm Jay Dorton, I thought he got what he deserved. And they just basically quit the rhetoric. They're sick of it. They're just sick of it. You're sick of listening to this stuff. You know, not fixing the thing. You know, when your goal with life is to take money from somebody else, I mean, just confiscate their money. That's not a great goal, folks. Anyway, if you go to the Hayride article, why the Medicaid expansion is a drain on the economy, it talks about Louisiana's Medicaid exemption. It talks about the flawed perspective on the report. And it talks about, see, folks, our economy's not growing. It's not expanding at all. So we got a poor record on growing the economy since Edwards came in. He's bragging about something. We got to go get federal money. Look how we're growing the economy, 19,000 jobs. That's made up rhetoric. If you raise taxes, it makes it worse. It's not going to make it better. It's going to make it worse. You're going to take from the people that are producing. Anyway, if you read it, I'm going to just give you some headlines. The Louisiana Department of Health reports factually inaccurate. It's just totally inaccurate. People are dropping from Obamacare exchanges and enrolling in the Medicaid expansion because it's cheaper for them. The expansion this expansion on these exchanges are too expensive, even with the subsidies. We went from 170,806 to 93,865. Dramatic drop. He said that the report discussion of the new federal dollars inaccurately ignores the substantial funding in federal exchange subsidies. Moreover, the Louisiana Legislative Fiscal Office in 2015 assumed that approximately 20% of enrollees in expansion would give up their private coverage to enroll in Medicaid. So you got 20%, they think the number's closer to 40, of people who ought to not even be in it. Jeff Landry had the number at $460 million a year. Christina Romer, one of the former President Barack Obama's chief economic advisors, believed that on an economic impact basis, tax increases used to fund federal spending far outweigh that federal spending. Medicaid's creating a disincentive for work. I remember my friend Lyle Miller used to say this all the time. He said, we're making it easy to be poor. We're making it easy to be poor. Number 4, health care is not a jobs program. Folks, it never is going to be a jobs program. For this governor to put out disinformation, just like he sent out those letters, it's not a jobs program. Zeke Emanuel, former White House advisor who helped craft Obamacare, in a 2013 article, the New York Times, Emanuel noted that more we can control health care costs, the more Americans will prosper. Other researchers from Harvard University made the same point. It's tempting to think that rising healthcare employment is a boom, but the same outcomes can be achieved with lower employment and fewer resources. That leaves extra money to devote to other important public and private priorities. It is not a job program. Bell Edwards tweeted out it's a job program. They created 19,000 jobs, and we got the people who authorized Obamacare. That was the big expansion of Medicaid, says it's not a jobs program, and Bell Edwards says it is. God dang it. He said, this is the Hayrod, Chris Jacobs, taking the governor's report to a logical conclusion to maximize the generous federal match rate for Medicaid expansion. Louisiana should, for instance, start paying doctors $5,000 for a simple office visit. That added Medicaid spending would create even more jobs and economic growth, as would a government program paying individuals to dig ditches and fill them in again. But as the Harvard researchers know, neither approach would represent the most efficient use of taxpayer resources. And the report makes little attempt to argue that Medicaid expansion represents the best and most efficient source of economic activity. Folks, that's a lie. Don't call yourself honor code, and that's a lie, and he knows it. Governor, come on the program and explain that to us, would you? We've asked y'all to come on for 3 years now. Here's another one in the same report. Asking Washington for more funding isn't a solution. It's not. You're right. 42.2% of our state budget comes from Washington now. Brandon, that Washington has $21 billion deficit. They're going to quit sending us money. Then we're in big trouble. Number 6, if Medicaid is a job creator, and this is the big one, we'll take some more calls. If Medicaid is a job creator, why is Louisiana down jobs year over year? Medicaid expansion has created so many jobs. Why has Louisiana lost a net of 200 jobs in the past year? According to the most recent Bureau of Labor Statistics data, the Louisiana workforce shrank from February 17 to February 18. With a shrinking workforce, the second lowest economic growth rate in the country, and the largest decrease in incomes nationwide. And by the way, our incomes are going down by 1.9%. If Louisiana receives any more prosperity from Medicaid expansion, the current melee in the state could turn into a full-fledged economic crisis. So how in the hell can the governor send out this is creating jobs? It's not, folks. It's hurting us. It's devastating us. And this guy, Chris Jacobs, is a senior fellow with the Pelican Institute and founder and CEO. He's got it on the money. On the money. Bell Edwards sent out exactly what they said it was not. It's not a job creator. All right, let's go. CW and Bossier. How you doing, CW?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you?
I'm doing superb.
Well, I'll tell you how you can solve that problem that you're talking about. You need to run for governor yourself, and then you can straighten it out, Moon. I know you can do it.
That ain't happening. That's not my job. But let me tell you something. Listen to me. There are people who can do it, and there's people that claim they want the job. And when they run on this stuff, we need to hold them to the whole. I'm talking about Kennedy, Landry, Scalise, Congressman Abraham, whoever's running. We need to hold them responsible for getting it done. I'm not the governor. I'm not running for the governor.
I hope to see you in Shreveport this week. Take care.
All right, I'll be at the Mudbug Festival on Thursday, Hickson Autoplex, and Ellick on Friday. Mike in Acadia. How you doing, Mike?
I'm fine, Moon. How are you today? And Moon for governor?
How about that? Moonin' Louisiana every day.
yeah, that's your slogan. I don't often do this, but I will give a shout out for Jay Darden. He did return my call. He's one of the first ones. The governor's never returned my call. I just got off the phone with him. I talked to him about, all these, why he wants more money. I told him, one time I would like for government to say, I don't need any more of your money this year.
Well, once they get enough, they'll tell us that for that year. Give me an example. They're going around saying that with the new budget, if they get a 0.5-cent sales tax, they're going to save us $400 million because we got a 1-cent sales tax they added 2.5 years ago. So now they're going to say they're going to save us $400 million. That's not a savings. You jump the budget up $2 billion and you give us back $400 million, we'd still be taxed.
And he brought up that they'd save $600 million cut from the budget. I said, but our budget increased by $5 billion.
But listen to me. When he says that, that's an outright lie. They've never said, where's the savings at? They have been using that bogus number for 2.5 years. As a matter of fact, tell him this, where's the $600 million in cuts and the pink slips? Where's the pink slips on $600 million in cuts?
He said that we are matched for $1, we get $9 from the federal government. And I said, where's that money going? Then we're doing something wrong if we're getting more money and we're still in debt. But I also found out why Louisiana lost the Toyota plant. That burnt me up.
Well, hold up now.
He said Toyota.
Go ahead.
He said Toyota said that we did not have a workforce suitable.
Yeah.
Shreveport laid off everybody who worked in the GM plant.
Hey, brother, hold on. We got to listen to music.
Oh, man.
Well, I apologize. The engineer caught me out there, and I was just reconciling some things. Okay. Then they had a business out there wanted to say hi, and I got caught up in that. So
everybody else's fault.
No, I didn't say it's anybody else's fault. I'm telling you what I was doing, just to be honest with you. By the way, I didn't accuse anybody of anything. Mm-hmm.
The other day it was the mailman.
The mailman was out there, too. By the way, he was talking about fishing. It was the mailman, too.
So it was a team effort to keep you from getting on the airwaves.
3 different people sent here. I wonder. Effort. And the word is, though, I don't know if they all support Bell Edwards. They have, though.
I thought I'd see if I'd let the song get up to about 5 times played, but I thought, nah, let me go get it.
Next time I'll give you a tape of me singing, and people can enjoy that as they wait. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. By the way, I want to say it again, Mudbug Festival on Thursday, Hickson Autoplex on Friday. Let Dallas talk about the business climate for you. We'll talk to him. One thing about Dallas, he's been really blunt and honest about what's happening in not only the business, but the business climate, his business, and I'm sure he will be again on Friday. All this fake stuff coming out as they try to this is all about Bell Edwards being reelected, which is not happening, I believe, and I still believe he's a one-term governor. And when you don't accomplish anything, when you run the businesses out of here, they're going to vote against you. And I think one of the reasons he's coming to Lafayette again tomorrow, still shocked Billy Nungesser is involved in that. Matter of fact, he's on the invitation.
Yeah.
It's Bell Edwards and Billy Nungesser. And, I guarantee you, Bell Edwards is come and talk about raising taxes.
Well, the way that the notice is set up, it's got Governor John Bell Edwards and Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser like he's a headliner.
He is a headliner. That bothered me. I told you that Friday that bothered me. Still bothered me. Anyway, we're going to hear from him at 10:30. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Jeff in Monroe. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing all right, Moon. How are you doing today?
Doing fine, sir.
Well, good. I wanted to talk to you about a subject that's really near and dear to my heart there. I'm 30 years old. I just got married, and I constantly think about the future generations. And it keeps me awake at night. And earlier you were talking about not facing reality. And I kind of would like to touch on the reality of the consequences and the role that race plays in today's economy. And nobody talks about it. We are giving our nation away, and we're called racist if we don't like it. The thing is, if we keep importing people from third world countries, they're going to make ours a third world country. And I don't know why this is a taboo subject.
No, hold on just a second.
A white nation.
I've heard Limbaugh talked about it. We talked about it before. They're importing voters. They're importing voters is what they're importing because you run out of the underclass. You got to have more underclass people to vote for socialism. People that go to work, people that are trying to live the American dream, white or black. I don't get into the race stuff, white or black.
Well, that's the problem, Moon. I mean, that's the problem. Joe Biden just a few years ago was talking about how whites will become a minority in this and this year, and how that's a great thing. The point is, our ancestors fought for this land. They conquered it. fair and square. That's how every other country was formed. And now we are having it given away. We never got to vote on this. And we're told that, hey, race doesn't matter, but guess what? White privilege and blah, blah, blah.
Well,
it only matters when they can use it to demonize us. And then people like you, I like you, Moon. I've been listening to you for years. You say, I don't touch on the race thing. Well, guess what? That is all that matters.
Hey, hold on. First of all, you're wrong. I don't touch on it in a way maybe you touch on it. I touch on race all the time. I talk about it all the time. I talk about Democrats using blacks and using poor people. Inner cities are a perfect example of what the left wants to do to us. I think the way they play race and racism all the time is outright wrong. We got a mayor down in New Orleans that's trying to be a Democrat front runner, so he writes a book about racism. He removes statues. That's all to get the black vote. I know where you're going with that. I understand part of it. I'm just telling you that, and they're wrong. They're wrong about everything they're saying. But what you want to change is going to be a change of the heart. And I'm telling you right now, by the grace of God, that's the only thing you're going to change in that. There's not near the racism in the state country as there once was. Not even close. Not even close. And we got racism going back the other way now, which is what you're talking about. And nobody should give up the American dream. And the Constitution is for everybody. And this country's for everybody. I know what they're doing. I'm not disagreeing with anything you said. I know what they're doing. And they get away with it because we got weak-minded Republicans. We do. Instead of them standing up for all people. But you got a mentality out there that's been played up by the Democrat Party, black and white, that are pushing this stuff because they've gotten away from the Constitution, they've gotten away from Jesus Christ, they've gotten away from Christianity. They've gotten away from it. So what you're talking about is a change of the heart. It's not going to be made with a policy, and it's not going to be fought in the streets with guns and knives and killing each other. It's not going to be. It's going to be changing hearts.
Hey, Moon. Okay, the thing is, I would like to say to respond to what you said about how they're playing the blacks, the Democrats for the vote and this and that. Well, that's all I ever hear anybody talk about is how they're victims and this and that. But 90% of all interracial crime is black on white specifically. Am I supposed to just ignore that?
Nope. I don't think you need to ignore it, but I think when you get in an argument, you got to tell people the truth. And eventually we hope the truth.
That is the truth.
I know it is. I agree. I'm not arguing with it. You're not saying anything wrong. I understand what you're saying, but this is a shot at the culture in this country, which is a hell of a lot better than anywhere in the world, where people can be the best they can be, black or white, Christian or non-Christian. They can be.
Well,
but everything is politics.
Every white nation on the face of the earth is being flooded with non-white immigrants. Am I to believe that is a coincidence? I mean, this is planned.
Well, you may be right. It's just not something I looked into a whole lot. I know what's happening here. The use of the black vote by the Democrats. The inner cities tell you everything they want. They want a controlled place. You do what you want in that inner city, we're going to control the rest of you. So anyway, got to run. Appreciate the call. Moving on, Bill in Lafayette. Bill, how you doing?
Oh, good, Moon. You doing good?
I'm doing fine, sir.
Awesome. Well, I have a little fact. And I'm calling it a fact because I have it from a very, very good source. You might be interested. As we were traveling back yesterday from a Tulane graduation, we were looking at all the multiple hundreds of trial lawyer signs, and one guy, Gordon McKernan.
Yeah.
I have it on good authority what he spends per month for his advertising, at least on the signs. I don't know if it's all of his other advertising that he does, but you want to take a guess? $600,000 a month.
Well, let me tell you something. I was going to say $50,000 a month.
No, it's $7.2 million a year.
How can one law firm? I'm just asking. How can one law firm afford $600,000 a year in advertising? That sounds high to me. I'm not saying you're wrong, by the way. It just sounds high to me.
Yeah, well, of course, it shocked me, but the source I got it from is in a position to know. I'll put it that way.
$600,000. I mean, it just don't seem like they can make that kind of money back.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that's my reaction also. That's why I'm calling to tell you. But I believe it because of who told me.
That just looks like an awful lot. I know they spend a lot. I know you see them on TV and billboards.
Yep.
But, boy, that sounds like a lot of money. But either way, I get your drift. Whether it's $50,000 or $600,000, I get your drift. It's a lot of money. And, yeah, if you go to New Orleans and go Evangeline Thruway or 90 or whatever you want to call it, there's one lady counted 99 signs going there and coming back in a certain distance. She wanted to see, and she counted every sign.
Yeah.
So, but by the way, that's our new economy. Our new economy is let's sue the hell out of everybody and let's get as much federal money as we can, and hey, everything's cool.
Yeah, I don't know how many signs he has, or his firm has. I know it's a megaton. That's all I know.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. Appreciate the call. Let's move on. Keith in Lafayette. Keith, how you doing?
Good morning, Move. Listen, I don't know if you caught this, but this morning on the news they were talking about this mole that they're looking into Trump's campaign. One of the committee members made the statement that he was never given or seen any type of evidence to this fact. Now, what kind of stupidity is that statement? You know, of course they're not going to give anybody this information unless you ask.
Well, the other thing is, though,
he's just covering it up. Well, I never saw that. I was never given such documents.
This is the big question on that. The big question on that, because I've been following that too. Barack Obama's Justice Department, CIA, the word is, it
FBI.
looks like they are FBI. They're the ones that did that. Can you imagine Trump not running and putting a CIA person, FBI, whatever, in the campaign of the next Democrat? I mean, Obama, let me tell you something. Obama abused the IRS with us. He abused the Justice Department. That's why you don't put a Marxist in those positions. They think that's what you do with them, and you don't. That's not right. You know that's not right. So I'm curious to see how that's going to come down. Trump had a right. I'm glad he tweeted out they need to kill this thing. They really do. It's not that they're going to find anything, but they'll find whatever they want to find. And he's saying the Justice Department looking at whether FBI, DOJ got into the Trump campaign for political purposes under the Barack insane Obama administration. That's the question we need to find out. Anyway, got to run. Thanks for the call. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. Most nonpartisan, non-political show on the air today. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser joins us. Billy, how you doing?
I'm doing great, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. All right, Billy, before we get to anything else, I took a shot at you Friday. I think you need to answer it. I didn't understand. I know that the governor's having a big press conference at UL, and I saw your name attached to it. And I'll be honest with you, Friday, I saw this, and I told Brandon, I told the audience, I said, what is Billy doing? Because the governor had this big press conference here, and by the way, you had nothing to do with this, the big press conference on the nursing homes and the hospitals and all that stuff, and he made a big PR move about it. And a call to action put out by his letterhead, I didn't say yours, his, says that he's going to be speaking, you're going to be speaking, and his call to action is to raise taxes. And I said, damn. So I'm asking you now, because I did make the comment Friday morning, I wonder what Billy's doing, because I don't want you used as a prop with the governor. So my question is, what is this about, and what are you going to be speaking about? Because he's going to be asking for taxes.
Well, I got invited, as we always do, to open a session through my office, and said he would be talking in front of the university presidents in Lafayette, and what I'd like to say a few words. And I'm going there to speak about the importance of my budget that now is looking at a 30+% cut, where I would have to eliminate the services for the blind, the internet service to libraries, close state parks. And when you look at this year, 2017 being a year that we almost doubled the taxes left here by tourism, the spending, we had 500,000 more visitors, another record year, but the spending is up to $371 a person, which tourists left here $1.8 billion in taxes. So although tourism should never take the place or be ahead of education, our health care, fixing our infrastructure, I need to make a point of the importance. If we cut the lieutenant governor's budget by what is proposed, next year our budget deficit will be even greater because those tourism numbers will go down, and tourism is a money maker for Louisiana. And a lot of small communities and towns around the state, that's all they've got is the tourism, the restaurants, the hotels, and we need to make sure we
But Billy,
if
you look at the press, the clippings, and Stephanie Grace and all these people, that you may be saying one thing, but if it's at the UL at the campus, this is about higher ed and taxes, and this is just my opinion. They scan the hell out of higher ed and people on tops, and they're using you as a pawn. And I mean, are you for all the taxes that they want to increase? Because I mean,
absolutely not. But
how can you say that about the budget if you're not for raising taxes? Because that's what this is about, and I think you swept up in it.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't know what the legislator's going to do, and it's up to them to solve the problem. You know, I'm not going to debate what they do to fix it, but I've got an opportunity to advocate for the tourism industry and hoping that we can come together and solve it to fund the things that are needed to keep the state moving forward. But listen, I'm as conservative as they come. I've never been. I've taken every budget cut since I've been lieutenant governor, not closed the state park. We've done more with less. Every day we're finding new ways to save money and cut costs on the things I have control of. And that's the way I'm going to continue to operate. But
you don't feel like you're being used as a pawn at all by the governor who's going to advocate raising taxes and fine. They're not going to call it taxes, as you know, Billy. They're going to call it revenue. But the fact is, our economy, our GDP, listen, if what you're telling me about tourism is true, and I have no reason to doubt you, our GDP has been down, not 1 year, but 2 years in a row. Our economy is not growing, it's shrinking. And I'm worried about the few of us that are paying taxes, are we going to be able to hang with it? Because I'm just telling you, if you look at everything that I've read, and I've read a lot since Friday, I'm saying, what is Nungesser doing there? That's why I'm making the comment to you, and I want you to answer it. That's why I'm throwing it at you.
Well, everybody's been invited to go. All those statewide elected officials. Am I the only one going? I don't know. Is my name being, but I am not for higher taxes. I think we've got a lot of things to do in Louisiana to make the economy grow. There's a reason the interstate's lined with billboards for attorneys. Our business climate is not friendly, but unfortunately, Lieutenant Governor does not have a vote to advocate for that.
Yeah, but you know what, though? Let me just one other thing on this. I've seen Kennedy and I've seen Schroeder and I've seen Landry stand up in public challenging what's going on, but you haven't. And I thought, I wish Billy would. I wish you would stand up, Billy, because people need you.
I'm against. Listen, let me tell you something. I'm telling you, I'm against any higher taxes. But for me, listen, I'm not going to criticize or get on a thing. I've got a job to do as lieutenant governor, to do the best job I can for the people of Louisiana I was elected. Not worry about my next job or worry about why people are doing certain things, because and I'm not going to get in a discussion on why people do certain things that they do. But I was elected to do a job as lieutenant governor. You have asked me. I'm not for higher taxes. Do I think we've got a lot of areas in the state we can cut? Absolutely. And I could give you a list of them that I've given everybody that could do something about them, from the company we use to book airline tickets, where we waste money every year. But the list goes on. And I think we got to look at absolutely everything and to make sure we're giving the taxpayers a return on investment. That's what I'm doing under every department I'm responsible. Cut $1 million for museums last year. And we continue to cut wasteful spending every time I found it.
Yeah. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser, I always appreciate you coming on the program. The only other thing, Billy, and I just want you to answer this. For I know Representative Reynolds is now taking over. I think Robert Barham was the head of Parks and Recreation. Gene Reynolds, I know that guy headed up the Democrat caucus, a big friend of Edwards, and I was a little shocked about that appointment because I know I got a lot of guys on our side retiring and not going back in the legislature. Why that pick?
Well, he was one of three names that came in and interviewed with me. And we've got a lot of work to do in our state parks. He was an educator, a principal. I liked his hands-on involvement. He wants to get out to every state park. We had a long discussion about cutting the amount of management we have over these state parks and trying to do more with less. And I felt like he was, listen, first off, the jobs under the lieutenant governor, it's hard work. It's a lot of long hours, and it's not attractive to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have a lot of people that I
So you only had three people that really wanted the job, is what you're telling me?
Well, three people. We were out there asking 3 people, and you got to have some knowledge of Louisiana. I needed somebody to hit the ground running that can help.
Hell, Billy, I wasn't doing nothing.
Come on.
I said, hell, I wasn't doing nothing. Brad says I do nothing all the time. Billy, you're supposed to laugh at that. That's being I'm breaking the ice here, brother. I'm supposed to laugh at that.
I'm laughing, buddy.
All right, listen, seafood promotion stuff going on. What's going on right now?
Well, we moved that event to Lafayette, and we're excited. We've got 12 chefs from all over the state. It's the 11th year of the competition. We're partnering with Lafayette. It'll be at the Cajun Dome. Last year we had 2,800 people show up. Tickets are $25, and it's a great opportunity to see the great talent we have with chefs from all over the state. They'll be preparing their best seafood dish, and we will pick a queen, a king, or seafood to represent Louisiana for the next year. Bonnie Bro was the winner last year. She just opened her own restaurant in Bro Bridge, doing great. So it's a great opportunity for us to select one of our homegrown chefs, really promote them. Several chefs over the years have gotten TV shows and a lot of exposure being picked the king or queen of seafood, and we're excited about hosting that event again in Lafayette this year.
So when is the event?
The event is in Kentucky. It's on the Friday with Eat Lafayette. I don't even have the date in front of me.
Oh, that's fine. I didn't know the event. That's why I was just kind of curious.
Yeah. It's in conjunction with Eat Lafayette, with all the local Lafayette restaurants will be there providing their dish, and a great opportunity for us to see these chefs in action.
All right, so that's coming up. They can probably go on the website and find out.
Yeah, they didn't give me the date.
All right.
Oh, June 19th. I'm sorry. I got it right here in front of me. It's been one of those mornings.
Okay, June 19th in Lafayette.
Tomorrow we'll be unveiling a 4x6 washboard in Sunset, naming it the world capital of washboards. They make them for all over the world out of Sunset, and we will be unveiling a 4x6 washboard in the town that'll be on display. It's going to be erected as a piece of art there at the intersection of Duffy and Napoleon Avenue near I-49, and be a great thing to those washboards started here in Louisiana that have been marketed and sold all over the world, and a great instrument that so many of our Cajun and Zydeco bands use. So we'll be highlighting that tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in Sunset.
All right, Billy, best of luck. We'll talk at you later.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, Billy Nungesser, Lieutenant Governor in the state of Louisiana. All right, let me jump gears. Representative Blake Miguez joins us. Blake, how you doing, bud?
Moon, how you doing?
Doing this great. I got a quick question for you before you even say anything else. I had Billy Nungesser on, and
yeah,
I know that and that's why I kept asking him about going to this thing with Edwards. I know some Republicans and House Republicans and people pretty upset about what's going on because they felt like they busting their butts down there. And I don't care what anybody says. If you read Stephanie Grace and all those other people, it looks like it's a dual deal. And when you see the invitation, it looks like a dual deal. So I know you guys, I don't know if y'all upset or not, but word I get it is there's a little bit of people upset.
Moon, in the House of Representatives, we work very hard to further conservative values, fiscal responsibility, and we stand for the taxpayers when we work at the Capitol. And to see the top-ranking Republican in the state join arms with Governor Edwards and talk about a tax and spend agenda in my hometown of Lafayette is very disappointing. I just don't understand why Bill is doing it.
Yeah, well, I don't either. I don't. I just don't. I mean, I wouldn't be the headline because if you read the invitation, it's a call to action. Now, my question to you, have you ever seen Bell Edwards not call to action more tax revenue?
My point exactly, Moon. We already know the story. It's repeat over and over again. We're going to shut down LSU football. We're going to evict elderly people out of nursing homes. We're going to stop people from going to hospitals. It's fear-mongering after fear-mongering. And I can't believe that Lieutenant Governor Nungesser would join in with the governor and hold hands on stage in Lafayette to push that policy forward in the state of Louisiana. It's very disappointing. You know what it does? It shows me, Moon, that the gentleman lacks courage as a Republican. We were on Bond Commission 3 weeks ago, and we had a vote that dealt with the Second Amendment. And it was an easy vote, and all Billy had to do was his staffer was vote to support the Second Amendment. It would have been adverse to the governor's position, but he's done just like he's done in this situation. He's run away from the fight. In Louisiana, when I vote tomorrow for any statewide elected official, I want to know that they have the same value system that I have. They're conservative, and then when I go to sleep at night, I know that they'll promote policies which the conservatives around Louisiana support, and the first being fiscal responsibility and smaller government, not a tax and spend agenda that my constituents have to pay for. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm just concerned. Like I told you, the governor, I know what he's doing. I know what they want him there for. The press loves that he's going to be there. And, the governor sent all these notices out, told all the hospitals they closed, and told all the people in the nursing homes you're getting out, only to find out when the budget was passed, all that was funded. But nobody said, and those people that got those notices ought to get one from y'all saying, hey, by the way, really, they ought to get another notice that we fully funded your hospital and Medicaid, and by the way, the governor vetoed the budget to fund it. That ought to be sent out immediately to those people.
It was the governor's budget that the legislature made better when REC realized more money. He vetoed a better version of his own budget, which secured funding for hospitals, which secured funding for nursing homes. Now, government took a hit. People like Billy Nungesser's budget took a hit. Now, I got a feeling that's why Billy's up there holding hands with the governor, because he's no different than the bureaucrats that I sit on the House Appropriations Committee hearing him. We don't want our budget cut. We're okay. Just tax the constituents back home as long as we get the money for our budget. And it's very disheartening, and it's very disheartening seeing it from one of the top statewide elected officials who is Republican. I'm questioning whether Billy is Republican now. Don't you question the same?
Well, there's no doubt. That's why I asked the questions I ask. I'm saying, why would you be? I would never go to the thing with the governor. The governor lied about the health care, lied about this. Now he's going to go lie to the universities. There's a reason he's going to a university. He's going to university to scare.
We never really asked Billy to stand up and fight with us. We just don't ask him to fight against us because we're there working very hard to represent the taxpayers of Louisiana. And it's just very disheartening, Moon. I mean, I can tell you many members on the House Republican delegation, we're all talking about it. We're very upset. We can't believe it. If Billy has to speak, why don't he show up in Baton Rouge that early afternoon and come speak to the House Republican delegation, his own delegation, instead of going and speak with the governor and promote a tax and spend policy on Tuesday.
But don't you think Edwards is going to come out and scare universities and scare people on tops? That's the only reason he's coming. He said it's a call to action. What is the call to action going to be? It's going to be taxes. That's all it's ever been.
Exactly, but Moon, I can tell you this. The people in Acadiana right there in Lafayette area are smarter than that. They've struggled very hard over the last 3 years with the depression in the oil and gas business, and they've had to take cuts in their pay. Their wives are working extra jobs. They are tired of government growth and spending growing faster than the private sector. They're going to stand up and they're going to say no. And they're going to hold legislators, both statewide and local, who raise taxes. They're going to hold them accountable because we've got to – thank you, Moon.
All right, you could have kept going, Blake.
No, I thought we were getting shut off.
Just go ahead and finish it up real quick.
Well, just to say I'm very disappointed in the lieutenant governor. If he wants to do the right thing, he'll call John Bell and politely bow out and show up to the House Republican delegation and give his speech on Tuesday. Because we're there to listen. We want to see him support what we're trying to do to help the taxpayers. We don't want to see him pushing a tax and spend agenda. I think that's what he's committed himself to, but he's worried about his own budget. He's not worried about the taxpayers' wallets back home, the people that vote for all of us in office, and it's just very disheartening.
Yeah. All right, got to go. Representative Blake Miguez, thank you. God bless. Good luck.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.